Get your holiday shopping done early during Guitar Center's biggest sale of the year with deals like a Ludwig drum set with hardware and cymbals, only $329.99, or an Elisa Special Edition Nitro Mesh E-Kit, just $319.99. This holiday, make music with Guitar Center.
Every condition is the perfect condition with the Wool Dasher Mizzle. The planet's first sustainable, water-repellent, proper running shoe. Made by nature, for nature, Allbirds.
Hey guys, this is Nevaeh.
And Jessica Havoc.
And you're watching Ambi.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia, and I would like to welcome you to my interview with the Killer Death Machines. Sitting beside me right here is Nevaeh and Jessica Havoc.
What up?
What up? How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me again, and then also having my amazing tag partner join us.
I'm
I
excited
had
to be here.
So excited to have you on. So we are here. It is Shimmer Weekend. So much is happening. So how are you feeling being a part of this amazing event?
I'm personally super pumped to be back. Shimmer is where I can walk out of the ring. Last time I was at Shimmer, so when I went out, everyone was like, "Please make sure you walk back," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna do more than walk back."
Yeah.
No, but I mean, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool having us reunite, and then the crowd too was just like, yeah, like they were super pumped about it. Like, I don't know. And even though the outcome wasn't what we wanted, we killed it, dude.
You did.
We killed
did.
it.
Forget about the outcome, right? It's not.
Yeah,
It
doesn't
You
matter.
had fun.
Right.
You
Doesn't
kicked
matter.
ass.
Right.
Exactly.
If we're counting wins and losses.
Yeah, maybe we
Let's
don't
not
want to
count
go
wins and
there.
losses. But anytime you get the Killer Death Machines together, you're at least gonna have a good ass match.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
Well, you do have to take me back to the beginning of this because your friendship I've seen for a while now, and it's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I've literally known her for basically my entire wrestling career.
Yes.
Um,
We started off wrestling each other a lot though.
yeah, wrestling. We were against each other a lot.
All the time.
All the time, like, because when we were coming up together, like, there were not a lot of female wrestlers. And I think I told you before, too, like, my first year in, like, I literally just wrestled guys.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how it was for you, like.
I wrestled the same girl.
That's right.
For like a year
That's
and a half
right.
straight.
That's right. Yeah.
Every Tuesday and Friday, literally the same.
Just because that's all
girl.
that there
That's 'cause that's all
was?
we
Yeah.
had.
Wow.
Yeah.
No one was in the area because even though we were both Ohio, we were like 3.5 hours apart.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we started off wrestling each other. Realized very quickly that we had fantastic.
daily journey is a short one. Save 50% when you pay per mile with Allstate. Pay less when you drive less. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Domino's knows a thing or two about delivery. So when we saw people were getting tacos and burgers delivered like these, we had to step in. Introducing our new chicken taco and cheeseburger pizzas.
What? Oh my.
Now the best way to get a taco or burger delivered is to get a Domino's pizza.
Chicago. Okay, so a magnificent mile for me.
I thought I was managing my moderate to severe Crohn's disease until I realized something was missing. Me.
You okay, sis?
My symptoms were keeping me from really being there for my sisters. So I talked to my doctor and learned
That's us.
Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. The majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief in as little as 4 weeks, and many achieved remission that can last.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
Big opportunity for Brandon Moreno.
Tony Ferguson is an assassin. Oliveira continues to get it done.
We are St. Joseph's University. We're up for anything. To be ready for an ever-changing future so that we succeed again and again and again.
On the way and good.
Learn more at sju.edu.
Place your legal sports bets at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. We have tons of bets available during games, from money lines, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. PlaySugarHouse.com offers live streaming of events worldwide. That's right, you can bet on the game as you're watching. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Place your sports bets at PlaySugarHouse.com.
I don't want insurance providers. I have insurance.
Patrick Mahomes makes every play, makes
Every
all
play.
the runs, makes all the passes, keeps Tom Brady on the bench. Will he get 9 Super Bowl appearances and 6 rings? That's hard to
Unlikely.
imagine.
Unlikely.
It's hard to imagine, but I will say that right now he makes his team better than your team, no matter who's on your team. As I come back to the story, though, the next 12 paragraphs are about Tom Brady, and not just Tom Brady, because I do care what he did in the third and fourth quarter, because after the first quarter, he put up 24 and Patrick Mahomes put up 10. My wonder is, what is Bruce Arians doing? Why do you have Tom Brady if you insist on going deep all the time with a 43-year-old who is not young and mobile? The young and mobile guy is on the Kansas City Chiefs. So what exactly are you doing to sabotage Tom Brady? Why are you doing
stubbornness.
That to me is the larger question.
Just stubbornness, Tony. I mean, to me, that's the immediate question. The larger one is about Brady. But yes, the relationship and the passes he's throwing and what he's not doing and what he's doing something now that a friend of mine who played in the league about 15 years said it's like trying to make him learn a foreign language at 43 on the run. Like this semester. This is insane. You know what no risk it, no biscuit is? It's no common sense. That's what it is. That's what it looks like right now. You're right, Tony, about the relationship being a big part of this. I just think that's the immediate question. But the bigger question is, Tom Brady's 43 years old. What are we going to see the rest of the year from him?
So they're 7-5, and they may not even make the playoffs, and they got tremendous offensive talent. Wouldn't you think it's incumbent upon a coach to design a complementary offense for the guy you get? Or why get him? Or why get him?
Wait, what was our first? That wasn't our first story. We opened with the Bears. And I've said to you every week, this is a guy who doesn't want to coach this player. When I tell you the head coaching in the NFL has never been worse than it is now, you laughed at me a year or so ago. Maybe you're inching over to my side of the argument on this. The Broncos looked how you'd expect them to look after COVID protocols took out all 3 of their quarterbacks. Practice squad receiver Kendall Hinton threw 9 passes and completed just 1, and the Saints, of course, rolled 31-3. After the game, Denver safety Kareem Jackson said, quote, "I feel like the game could have been moved, but maybe the league was making an example of us," close quote. Tone, do you believe the NFL is making an example of the Broncos?
I did believe that justice was applied not uniformly in the cases of Baltimore and Denver. I believe that Baltimore was coddled and had their game moved 5 days, may even be moved another day. And I believed, past tense, that Denver was penalized because you can't win the game that way. You don't have a quarterback, a professional quarterback. You cannot win the game. So today, and you'll be proud of me on the podcast today after your appearance, I brought in Mark Maskey from the Washington Post, who we've known and loved all the years he's covered the league, which is over 30 years right now. And I put that question to Maskey, and he said, and I want to quote him, "The league will not postpone games for competitive reasons, only for medical reasons." And he said what happened here was there's an outbreak throughout Baltimore, and the medical people got involved. But in Denver, it was 4 guys in the same room, only one testing positive,
no masks.
And they want to get through the season, and they say everybody knows these rules. Everybody knows the rules. So that satisfied me to a degree, but I still think they could have been lenient with Denver.
They could have been, Tony, and I felt like you, I would put that whole, speech in past tense. Because then, as I made a couple more phone calls and did some just listening, I mean, Dan Orlovsky was so convincing, so persuasive of this. A guy who had to wait his turn to get his shot in the league. And he talked about the guys in that quarterback room and just being negligent, Tony. Just basically, saying, I don't want to do this. I don't have to pay attention to protocol. And he said, no, they don't deserve another chance. And here's a guy who played the position and knows what it's like to get an opportunity. He said, these guys forfeited that. And so, no, they don't deserve to have the game delayed. I'm like, wow, I am convinced. I am absolutely persuaded by this. Because, Tony, they all know it. All the players and all the coaches know it. And the Broncos just sort of said, eh. And you know what? So now I'm off of that. Like you, I've come around to the other point now, the other side of this.
What I wondered about, what I asked Maskey about is, would the league reset In other words, would they take a week off, a hiatus of a week or 10 days, and reset so they could get the rest of the season in? And he said, no, they're not going to do that. They're going to push through. But he does think it's possible that around the time of the championship games and the Super Bowl, that they go into a bubble of some sort because you can't lose those games. You cannot lose those games.
You can't reschedule those puppies at the last second and say, oh, wait, let's move the Super Bowl till Tuesday. And now Wednesday.
But I think they should use Week 18, Mike. I think they should use Week 18 for postponed games.
Listen,
I do.
I understand where Maskey's reporting, as always, brilliantly on what's going on now. But, Tony, as we see conditions become more severe, I'm told that people at the top of each sport are in touch with each other more than occasionally, and they see what's going on. And look, if you're the NBA and the NHL right now, and you're not going to have a bubble to start this season and you finish the last one, you're looking at the NFL, you're talking to their people, you're going, oh my God, what are we encountering now without a bubble, and can we do this? And I think all the sports are having to consider things they weren't.
Well, they should. They actually should. They should be in touch. For weeks now, we have said the NFC West is the best division in football. But then Seattle lost 3 out of 4. The 49ers lost their quarterback. They lost 5 out of 7. That left Arizona and the Rams as ascending glamour teams. And yesterday they fell flat. Arizona got beat at the buzzer in New England. Rams got beat at the buzzer by San Francisco. Wilbon, which was the worst loss?
The Rams. The Rams are at home. The Rams are playing a team crippled by other stuff, not necessarily COVID, but just that team, the 49ers, doesn't have their starting quarterback and missing. They've been devastated, the 49ers, by old-fashioned football injuries. So the Rams, but Tony, you know what? The Rams are just one of those teams, I think, and they've got some great players and a Hall of Famer on that team, in the middle of that, anchoring that defense, and Aaron Donald. But Tony, they just seem like one of those teams that they're not good enough to get on a roll. They're not good enough, and they're starting with their quarterback, to go 5 out of 6 necessarily, or 7 out of 9 games and sort of reach a level. Not now. They did a couple of years ago when they got to the Super Bowl, but I don't think they are that team. So we might be expecting too much of the Rams, but that was still a bad loss yesterday no matter.
Yeah, Jared Goff turned the ball over 3 times. He had a fumble. He had 2 interceptions. He's now turning it over more than Daniel Jones, and that is not acceptable. But I disagree with you. I don't think that was the worst loss, because that's a division loss. And those teams play each other differently when they play each other twice a year. I thought the Arizona loss was the worst loss for this reason. In the last couple of minutes, I think they had a chance from 45 yards to kick a field goal and take the lead. And they missed that. And then they yielded yards. They yielded enough yards to Cam Newton and to New England that from 50, the guy nailed it, and the guy took him out. I mean, to me, I understand they're on the road, but it's not like they're walking into a hostile stadium. I just thought the Arizona loss was worse. And I look at that division now, and Seattle can go back out, can sprint back out, and look like one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the entire NFC. And it doesn't look like that for these teams. But next week, I'm pretty sure Arizona plays the Rams. So we could have clarity between them anyway.
By the way, the Patriots got helped by a call, which Cam Newton, it does not benefit from many calls. But,
he's inbounds.
He's
inbounds.
He's running. So,
yes.
There are plenty of other calls against Cam Newton that he should get, and he doesn't get, and he got this one. And look, Tony.
Yeah, he did.
He also, what the Cardinals had to walk into yesterday? They had to walk into Bill Belichick. That's what they had to walk into. So, with all due respect to the coaches, terrific, tremendous young coaches in Los Angeles and in San Francisco, they ain't walking into Belichick. So I still think the Rams lost. You're at home, boys. Step up, and they didn't.
So at least, even though you think coaching is bad in the league, you think Belichick is good. That's good.
Belichick, take him.
Coming up, does Derrick Henry have a real chance to win MVP?
And should Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, keep fighting? You didn't watch. How could you not watch?
No. Well, it was pay-per-view, right? It wasn't on my TV.
What?
I didn't even know how to get it.
What, you don't have like $17.95? What are you
Hold it.
Well, Charles paid.
Barkley ordered it for you.
Yes,
you didn't pay for it.
Pardon the interruption is presented by Grey Goose. Drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Go to the ESPN Fantasy app now and pick the winner of tonight's game with Monday Night Pick'em, presented by T-Mobile. With 5G coverage in all 50 states, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing. Give extra, get extra.
Okay, so I'm Magnificent Mile for me.
I thought I was managing my moderate to severe Crohn's disease until I realized something was missing. Me.
You okay, sis?
My symptoms were keeping me from really being there for my sisters. So I talked to my doctor and learned
That's us.
Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. The majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief in as little as 4 weeks, and many achieved remission that can last.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
Next time you carry out 3-topping Domino's pizzas for $7.99 each, try Domino's Carside Delivery. Just check in online and we'll quickly and safely bring out your food so you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey Hamlin, I like your PJs.
One app lets you follow any team, any league, any player, you control the whole scene. No one else goes deeper, that's a fact. One slide, one tap, it's the ESPN app.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. It's why Amanda Nunes never backed down from being the only woman in her MMA training gym or letting stereotypes get in her way, inside the octagon or out. Modelo, the official beer of UFC.
Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
This season, let the ultimate driving machine light your way home. Exceptional offers won't last. The BMW Road Home Sales Event is going on now. Hurry in to receive a credit of up to $3,500 on select models through November 30th.
Black markets are all around us. It's military grade.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a journalist on a mission to find my way inside.
Welcome back to Pardon the Interruption, presented by Grey Goose, part of Happy Hour.
It's time to hear from the great unwashed. Let me see what's first here.
Mail time!
Is Derrick Henry a real threat to win MVP?
Well, Tony, you know what? I don't know that he's a real threat as long as that kid keeps throwing it in Kansas City. So he's got to be behind Patrick Mahomes. He could be behind Aaron Rodgers as well. But right now, with everybody else having, and you know what? Ben Roethlisberger. So those three guys, I don't think I have him any higher than fourth. But his 1,257 yards this season with 12 touchdowns and an average rush attempt of 4.9. I mean, he's having a staggering season, and they are a threat to win it all. So he should be in the MVP conversation.
So here's what's interesting, and this is our crack research department. Only Adrian Peterson in 2012 is a running back who's won MVP in the last 13 years. It is so quarterback-centric. And I agree with you. I think you got to put Mahomes there. I think you got to put Rodgers. I mean, but Derrick Henry is the rarest of running backs in a position that we have seen devalued in the last few years.
Yes.
People are afraid to get in front of him. They are physically afraid. They try to tackle him from the side.
Yes.
They don't want any part of him. 12 touchdowns already in 11 games. So, I mean, I think he's worthy of a vote. I would ask you this, though. Do you have any thoughts on Indianapolis? I mean, everybody says they're so good. They got pounded by Tennessee after beating them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but they were
beat the
missing
Packers,
people.
but they beat them on a freak play, Mike, in overtime. It was a fumble that led to a field goal. Are they any good?
They're like the rest of the league, Tone. They're like the rest of the league, and it's up and down. You've got to try to figure it out, except for Pittsburgh and Kansas City. But let me just say this. Two running backs who have been MVPs that we know of, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton. Guys weren't physically afraid to get in front of them like they are Derrick Henry. Oh, my goodness.
Would you pay to watch Mike Tyson fight again? Question 2.
I just did. Yes, it was irresistible. I forgot it was on. And then to celebrate Charles Barkley's great golf victory with Phil Mickelson on the weekend, we went to my favorite cigar spot in North Scottsdale, Torch, a plug for Torch.
Favorite, yeah.
And we watched this. It was irresistible. I must say, though, I was literally watching through spread fingers because if Tyson lands one of those lefts and hits Roy Jones, it's oh my God. It's oh my God. Turn away from the TV. But I would pay to watch it again. Would you?
I didn't pay this time because I didn't even know it was paid. I didn't even know it was on. I would watch him, but I'd watch him for free. And what I did get to watch for free was your friend Charles Barkley and Phil Mickelson and Peyton Manning and Steph Curry. And I will say now what I said a month ago when this was announced. Any of you people who think that because it's alternate shot, that somehow a football player and a basketball player are going to beat Phil Mickelson, you're idiots. He's a professional golfer. All Barkley had to do was put it on something green, and Phil was going to get it near the hole. I mean,
aren't you impressed Charles did that, though?
Charles was great. I was so proud of him. He putted so well. But this is so crazy. It's like if I go up to you and I go, Phil's working on his 3. He's pretty good with the 3. I think he could beat Steph Curry. And you go, what?
You'd be a fool.
He can't beat the greatest three-point shooter of all time. What are you talking about?
People don't respect golf as much as they should, and the skill and the nerve it takes. Charles walked off the golf course into the clubhouse where I was sitting among others, and he said, and I quote, "What are people doing betting against a pro? You always take the pro." And of course, Charles is right.
Crazy.
He knew who his partner is.
Crazy.
And that was you liked that event, didn't you?
Nuts.
Wasn't it fun?
And by the way, Phil Mickelson is so great talking. He can go on TV and talk about all sports. He's that good. Enough email.
Yes, he is.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, the Lions let go of Matt Patricia.
And my Wildcats lost on Saturday, but Northwestern still controls our destiny, however important or unimportant that may be.
Will you miss Matt Patricia's pencil?
You give your time. You give your courage. When we need it most, you give us hope. And when we look around, even now, you show us who we are at our best and why we serve.
During the Black Friday sales event with employee pricing for all, get $8,671 below MSRP on the 2020 Ram 1500.
It's footlong season at Subway, and Meditron's got some new news. Contactless curbside pickup is here. Just tap for Tasty in the app and pick up contactless. Because it's safety first, right, Tiny Car? You wearing your seatbelt, little man? Subway, eat fresh.
Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. For Anderson .Paak, it's the story of a man who came from nothing, who found purpose and success in his passion for music. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit.
Ow! So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist!
They do exist. Santa?
It's your grandma and grandpa.
Hi, mijo.
Hi.
Oh, it's snowing. Okay, come on. Look at us.
Wireless you can afford for the moments you can't afford to miss.
Hold up. You thought we were done bringing heat? Wrong. Let the spokesplayer demonstrate. Nuke, drop some heat on him.
I got you.
You know what we call that? Next-gen stats innovation. They play like they do in the NFL innovation. Andrew Hopkins sound like he'll stutter step through your screen innovation. This generation changed the game out there. So Madden had to change it up in here. You ain't never felt Madden like this before.
Rated E for everyone.
Alexa, tell Roomba to vacuum in front of the couch.
Experience clean in a whole new way. Now, Roomba offers you personalized cleaning suggestions and vacuums exactly where you need it. By getting to know you and your home, Roomba makes cleaning easier than ever before. So say goodbye to cleaning and hello to clean.
Hey Google, tell Roomba to vacuum the dining room table.
Roomba and the iRobot Home app, only from iRobot.
Kids, what do you want for lunch?
Pizza. Tacos.
Pizza. What about Subway? It's a good call and everyone loves it.
We raised our kids on it.
So it stopped the bickering?
JJ's copying me.
Grow up.
Mom!
Knock it off.
Try the new Subway buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken.
I don't want insurance providers. I have insurance. I have insurance. Service so good, it's legendary. I love them so much.
Get a quote and save up to 20%.
Insurance.
Place your legal sports bets at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. We have tons of bets available during games, from money lines, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. PlaySugarHouse.com offers live streaming of events worldwide. That's right, you can bet on the game as you're watching. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Place your sports bets at PlaySugarHouse.com.
Standing by for Monday Night Countdown, and Adam, news is breaking by the second.
Susie, Ravens, Steelers postponed for a third time to Wednesday night, and Texans wide receiver Will Fuller suspended 6 games.
All the details on Monday Night Countdown, top of the hour.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by Grey Goose. Drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 58th birthday, Bo Jackson. Earlier this month, when Kyler Murray said he still had an itch for baseball, everybody thought of Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. Bo won the Heisman at Auburn, then made the Pro Bowl in the NFL and the All-Star team in baseball. Unlike Deion, who was thin and lithe, Bo was thick and fast. He was a spectacular, powerful athlete in the Jim Brown
Fast
mold.
twitch, baby.
Oddly enough, Bo just went on Deion's podcast and was critical of tackling in today's NFL, saying nobody wraps up anymore and that he would average 350 to 400 yards a game running the football now.
Tony, okay, so he wouldn't average that many, but how about 150? I mean, Bo Jackson was so great. And I was at, we'll talk about Bo a little bit more here, but he was so great, maybe he goes 150. Maybe he doubles what he did in real life.
You killed the surprise. Happy anniversary, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
On this day 33 years ago, as a rookie with the Raiders, Bo went off on Monday Night Football. He caught his first touchdown pass. He went 91 yards on a touchdown sprint where he kept running through the end zone and into the Kingdome Tunnel. And he got a third touchdown where he plowed over another much-hyped rookie, Brian Bosworth, who later said, quote, "He just flat ran my butt over," unquote. Jackson gained 221 yards on just 18 carries. But revisiting Bo's claim that he would average 350 to 400 yards in today's NFL, in 38 NFL games, Bo averaged 73.2 yards. So let's not go crazy.
Tony, long before the aforementioned Mark Maskey covered the league for the Washington Post for 30 years, I did. Because I'm not going to bet the farm, but I'm fairly certain 8 on the 1 to 10 scale. I was at that game, covered that game, and got to see Bo Jackson run over Brian Bosworth. You talk about the hype for that game with those two guys. It was like a basketball setting, but Bo was unspeakably great. So don't diminish what Bo says about running for a whole lot more yards in this NFL.
400. Happy trails, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn and Dave Caldwell. The Detroit Lions fired their coach Matt Patricia and their general manager Bob Quinn after their embarrassing 41-25 home loss to Houston on Thanksgiving Day. Patricia was 4-7 this season, 13-29-1 in 3 seasons. Jacksonville Jaguars fired their general manager Dave Caldwell after losing to Cleveland and dropping to 1-10. Jacksonville's record while Caldwell was GM, a cool 39-86. Somehow Doug Marrone survived as head coach despite a 12-31 record the last 3 years. But it seems likely that after this season, Marrone will join Adam Gase of the Jets and Anthony Lynn of the Chargers on the unemployment line.
You think those are the only two? You're leaving out a guy who had a bye week and brought his team in to play the mortal enemy and was down like 40-7 or whatever, 10, whatever stupid. You think that guy should be employed further? No.
Omissions. Indiana quarterback Michael Penix Jr. out for the season with a torn ACL, and Adam Schefter of ESPN reports that the Ravens-Steelers game has been moved again, this time to Wednesday. Let's go to the big finish if we could.
Let's do that.
Northwestern Minnesota game canceled due to COVID within the Gophers program. Your thoughts?
Well, Tony, I mean, you know these things are happening right now. We still got to beat Illinois to win the division. We've won 7 out of 8 against them. Giants fear Daniel Jones has a bad hammy. Is that a big deal? A bad hamstring injury?
Yeah, he's getting better and better, but they've got Colt McCoy, who I watched for years in Washington. I think he's pretty good. Alabama smashed Auburn even without Nick Saban. Your thoughts?
Tone, they're still going to be the unanimous #1 team. Alabama's that good, even with Saban on Zoom. College hoops, #3 Villanova, #4 Virginia, #10 Kentucky, all upset over the weekend. Most surprising?
I would say Kentucky only because Richmond had been unranked when they played. Last one, Monday Night Football, Seahawks and Eagles. Who you got?
Oh, please, Seahawks, put the Eagles out of their misery and ours.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. We're bumped until Thursday by college basketball knuckleheads. Now to get you set for Monday Night Football, here's Susie Culver and the Countdown crew.
Monday night in scenic downtown Philadelphia. Severe storms have hopefully passed as we get you set for a major battle in the NFC. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in town to face Carson Wentz and the Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. It's still raining, but the tarps are coming off. Let's hope that the weather holds out. As we get you set for tonight's game and look back at an eventful Sunday on Monday Night Countdown, presented by Subway. We are coast to coast tonight from the Seaport District in New York City, where weather is also pretty rough, so these are our away digs for the night. Here with Adam Schefter, Booger McFarland, Hall of Famer Randy Moss. I'm Susie Culver, and I said coast to coast, Steve Young with us from the West Coast, from his home in Northern California. Steve with us throughout the show. And we have to start with the news, and it's been breaking by the second. Adam, it's been an avalanche of COVID news, and let's start with what's up with the Ravens and Steelers game.
Susie, for the third time in the past week, the Ravens-Steelers game has been postponed. It will kick off Wednesday. The Steelers and Ravens are still waiting to hear an official time as to when the game will be played, but this will allow more testing to be done in Baltimore and hopefully have more tests come back negative that would enable the Ravens to go out either tomorrow or Wednesday morning into Pittsburgh to play that game Wednesday, which was supposed to be played on Thanksgiving night on Thursday, which was moved to Sunday, which was moved to Tuesday, and is now being moved to Wednesday. So actually it's the fourth postponement. That game has led to a shift in schedules for Week 13 as well, with the Steelers-Washington game scheduled for Sunday now being moved to Monday, where there'll be a triple header involving the Ravens and Cowboys that was supposed to be on Thursday that was moved to Monday, and the Washington Steelers game and our Monday night game next week, which is the 49ers and the Bills, after the 49ers have to go to Arizona. There's the schedule there.
That's what we need, Adam. A lot of moving parts. We need a graphic.
So do you got all those changes? Everything is upside down. It's hard to keep track of everything, but there it is right now where we're at this particular point in time. Ravens Steelers Wednesday. Cowboys Ravens Monday, Washington Steelers Monday, Bills at 49ers in Arizona on Monday as well.
And Adam, let's just be clear about something, because I think a lot of people are confused why some games get moved and some games don't. The NFL sent out a memo before the season even started, correct? That talked about you're not going to move a game for strategic purposes. You're only going to for safety purposes.
Susie, it is all about identification, isolation, and then containment of the virus. And as long as the NFL feels like it has identified, isolated, and contained the virus, then at that point in time, it believes it can play the games. If that is not the case, if it can't identify and it can't isolate and it can't contain, as was the case in Baltimore, they're going to continue to postpone that game. That's why the Broncos-Saints game on Sunday was played, because the league believed that the virus was identified, isolated, and contained in Denver, whereas it wasn't in Baltimore, and that's why that game keeps shifting, and that's what will be the case as COVID cases spike across the country and across the NFL.
You know, I think that's a good point, because a lot of people have been talking about the Bronco game shouldn't have been played because they had no quarterbacks. It's not about competitive balance. It's about safety.
Yes.
The NFL, the NFLPA, they've been doing an outstanding job. And so I want everyone to understand that they're doing everything in the name of health and safety, which they should.
You know, when I look at the Baltimore Ravens-Pittsburgh game, as a player being in the locker room, I'm just kind of concerned about their mental state of what they've been through in the last week and a half. You think about, Boog, your first primetime game. Now it's moved from Monday to Tuesday, like Adam just alluded to. So I think just going forward with guys being safe and staying safe, I'm just more concerned about their mental state.
Yep.
Steve, what do you think? There's going to be some competitive advantage, right? You're just going to have to deal.
But why can't we be athletic about it? Is the schedule, Adam, maybe is the schedule that sacrosanct that you can't expand it and make sure that the games get played with the full measure of all the guys that are. No one wants to watch the Baltimore Ravens play without Lamar Jackson. Nobody wants to watch the Denver Broncos play without a quarterback. I mean, I understand safety. I get all that. And that's their North Star, and that makes a lot of sense. And it says at the beginning of the season, if you're, this is the COVID year. And if you obey the protocols and you're healthy and safe, you're going to get the benefit and advantage for the teams that aren't. I get that. But why do we have to be so careful about the schedule and not be able to expand it to make sure these games are played with the full measure of especially the playoff teams that have playoff implications? It seems like the season could devolve from a competitive standpoint if people can look back and go, hey, look, the Ravens played without Lamar Jackson. It's not fair. It seems like they could just cancel a game. Just cancel it,
Steve, listen,
in week 18.
Listen, there are people who have said to me, I've heard coaches say that the integrity of the game is compromised when the Broncos have to trot out a practice squad wide receiver
100%.
to play quarterback. But the league would say, okay, as much as we're interested in that, what trumps that in this year, in this season, are the protocols that we have in place and the safety of the players. And they can't make allowances all the time.
Just cancel it and expand the season. Just play another week. Who cares?
But again, the league has been on a path, and I think it's very evident. We are 12 weeks into the season. The NFL hasn't canceled a single game, Steve. Guess what?
Amazing.
Schools across the country canceled. Restaurants closed. Schedules shifted. Everything has changed. You know what's gone on? The NFL has gone on. The show goes on. And if you don't think that the league is determined to plow through this season and play all these games and cash in on all this TV revenue, then you're not paying attention.
Right, that's clear.
The TV revenue for me, play an extra week. They could stay on. They could stay on through March. People will watch.
They want this schedule played. They want to have the ultimate flexibility if they need it later on. They only want to do that as a last resort. And right now, they are not ready to go to that last resort at this point in time.
Well, the playoff implication game between the Ravens and the Steelers, in my mind, is a game without Lamar Jackson needs to be canceled. You cannot play that game without Lamar Jackson. And that, to me, that's
Steve, you can say that,
get into the next week.
Steve, you can say the same thing about the New England Patriots when they didn't have Cam Newton. So, I mean, I think at some point we have to realize that we all, as players, we opted in knowing that things were going to be up in flux throughout 2020.
Adam, the 49ers can't play their next two home games at home. Tell us about that.
Well, essentially, Santa Clara County imposed restrictions that basically contact sports could not be played for the next few weeks. Now, the NFL has found no evidence that there's been transmission on the field so far. If there's data and science that emerges, okay, but so far to date, that's not been the case. Santa Clara County disagrees and basically said no contact practice, no games. And so the 49ers explored a number of options. They've been having the conversations since the spring, and now we'll have to go to Arizona. And think about this, okay? We're talking about all these scenarios with Steve. You want to talk about something unfair. The 49ers at some point this week will leave the Bay Area. They will head to Arizona. They will be there if these restrictions are not lifted for the next 5 weeks. And so all the coaches and all the players will be in Arizona during Christmas and New Year's, away from their family, away from their children, while they go through these games in which they might not even make the playoffs.
All right, so they get to try out State Farm Stadium in Glendale for Monday Night Football next week against the Bills. All right, more breaking news. Give us the latest on Will Fuller.
Moments ago, Will Fuller, the Texans wide receiver, announced on Instagram that he is being suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's PED policy, performance enhancing drugs policy. And so that ends Will Fuller's 2020 season. It's over. And the suspension extends into next season as well. He explained on Instagram that he got improper advice, but as we know, you are in charge of what you put in your own body. So you could spin it however you want, make whatever excuse you want. His career for this season, his season is over. He'll miss the first game of the 2021 season. His contract is up. You have to think that this is going to affect his free agent status this offseason. So this is a costly suspension for Will Fuller, who loses 6 paychecks, including the one for next year when he becomes a free agent.
Well, something tells me there's more breaking news to come.
Dalvin Cook is expected to play Sunday. The Broncos signed Kyle Shermer, son of Pat Shermer, their offensive coordinator.
He can't stop.
What else you want, Susie?
Adam will be here all night. We're just getting started here on Monday Night Countdown. Patrick Mahomes looked like the MVP against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Are there any teams that can slow the Kansas City Chiefs? And we crack open Boomer's Vault to see his top plays of Week 12. Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown had plenty of highlights, but were they good enough to be number 1? Plus, we go all access with Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. See what he and Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey have in common.
I know when I've done my greatest work. I am fully immersed and fully obsessed with the moment. So in the process.
Wilson and company in a heated battle for the top spot in the NFC West. Just in time for the stretch run, the offense has their heavyweights back at running back. Wilson almost always shines under the blinding lights of Monday night.
Mr. Warsaw right here, dog. Let's go. Disrespect will not be tolerated in this school, man. Touchdown, Seahawks! It's for the title, man. We gotta bring each other energy, boys. Let's put on a show.
Kids, what do you want for lunch? Pizza! Tacos! Pizza! What about Subway? It's a good call and everyone loves it.
We raised our kids on it.
So it stopped the bickering?
JJ's copying me.
Grow up.
Mom!
Knock it off!
Try the new Subway buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken.
I have an idea for a trade.
Oh, yeah? You gonna place it?
Not until I'm sure.
Why don't you call TD Ameritrade for a strategy gut check?
What's that?
You run it by an expert, you talk about the risk and potential profit and loss.
Could have used that before I hired my interior decorator.
Voila.
Maybe a couple of throw pillows would help.
Get a strategy gut check from our trade desk.
First, they're called to a great adventure where they are tested and encounter allies. On the road back, their spirit is restored. And in the end, the hero returns where they belong.
With employee pricing for all, get $4,995 below MSRP on the 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited.
He's got the ball, looking downfield. He's going to have to hurdle the tiny trike. Look at him tiptoe free. Oh, what a spin move. This dad will not be denied his hearty meat and veg. Campbell's Chunky Soup that eats like a meal.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing. Give extra, get extra.
Hi.
Happy anniversary.
For what?
Every year you're with us, you get $50 toward your home deductible. It's a policy perk for being a Farmers customer.
Do I have to do anything?
Nothing.
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 Nothing?
Nothing.
That really is something.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks. See ya.
May I have a balloon too?
Sure. Your parents have maintained a Farmers home policy for 12 consecutive months, right?
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Start with a quote at 1-800-FARMERS.
It's the season of savings at Lowe's with can't miss deals on the most stylish gifts. Shop in store, download our app to pick up curbside, or shop Lowe's.com where you'll find free shipping on thousands of must-have gifts for home.
Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
After 225 years of Jim Beam, you'd think we'd just look back on our past. Nope. We're looking to our future, where we're crafting new bourbons, creating new ways to drink them, and teaching a new generation of distillers. So no, we're not raising a glass to the last 225 years. We're raising Jim Beam for 225 years to come.
Go to the ESPN Fantasy app now and pick the winner of tonight's game with Monday Night Pick'em, presented by T-Mobile. With 5G coverage in all 50 states, T-Mobile is America's largest 5G network.
Welcome to DraftKings, the land of million-dollar opportunity. A place you've only seen in your dreams. Now let's bring it to life. Millionaires have already been made here this season, and there's more where that came from. Get in on the gridiron action with an official partner of the NFL. Enjoying the 140 players who have already cashed in $1 million. Download the app, try it for free, and make it rain.
Grubhub Perks give you the kind of Panera deals that make you want to move. For a limited time, get a $5 off perk on your Panera order. Only on Grub what you love.
Are you ready for an offensive feast on Monday night? Well, the Seahawks are ready to let Russ cook.
They already know what's going to happen.
Can Wentz lead the Eagles to the upset? Are you ready for Monday night?
Monday Night Countdown is presented by Subway. Get a free footlong when you buy 2. Now, only in the app or online. Because